What's going on, good people? Welcome to another video. It's been quite some time, I lied to myself and said, you know what, I'm gonna be consistent, of which that never happened. But it happens, man, it happens. So I'm back with another video. Today, what are we talking about? We are going to be rating, or I am going to be rating comedians that I've watched. It's either on I watched their specials, not necessarily the TikTok or the shorts. I cannot rate comedians based on that. So a disclaimer, please do not hate this video. We might have different opinions, but let's be respectful. Let's, to each his own. That's what Shakespeare said. Yeah. So let's get it started. I haven't thought about what I'm going to say. I haven't written it down. And if you're new here, you are going to know that I do not edit my videos. If there are blunders in my speech, because you know what, English is not my first language. So if there are any blunders I mistakenly say, like wrong grammar or something, please bear with me. We are going to grow together. So, I think let's start with, I don't know how many comedians I have with me, but let's start just to be safe. Let's say 10. So, but I don't think I've watched comedians like that, stand-up comedians like that. But at number 10, okay, let me say, this video is gonna suck because I'm not getting into the point. Okay, at number 10, I would say Preacher Lawson. Preacher Lawson, I've watched some of his stuff ever since from America's Got Talent, right? So I've watched his special. He was actually one of the people that I think I saw first who posted his specials on YouTube, here on YouTube, because most people do not have the luxury of being on Netflix. As one other comedian that's here that's making a killing in my list, so we will get to unpack such things. So I am rating Preacher Lawson at number 10 because yes, he's still, at the start of his journey. And you know what? I really loved his joke when he was talking about like he was single, blah, 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 blah. I love that joke. I cannot remember it because you know what? I didn't do research. I was just watching Vlad, and you know what? I was inspired because the name of the channel is Random Vibes with your dude, ROBUST. So, yes, number 10, we have Preacher Lawson. Now, number 11, we have, number 11. Number 9, we have, now we have Ryan Davis. Ryan Davis, honestly, he should have been, I think they are honorable mentions in a way because I haven't, watched their full content, but as comedians I've seen, and you know what? I was intrigued by them. So I watched one of his specials that I might maybe link in the description box below. So yeah, Ryan Davis was making a killing. So after that, we go with, I want to say, but I've never watched their specials, but you know what? Let's just mention them. 85 South, that is DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, and Carlos Miller. So these guys, the reason I'm rating them here, it's because, as I said, I've never watched their like full clips or whatnot, but I believe specials, that is, I've only saw clips. I'm contradicting myself. I said I wasn't going to include clips, but here we are. So one thing is they were number 1, I don't know for how many weeks, on Netflix, which was so good for guys who like had no notoriety. Is that it? Is that the correct word? They weren't known, right? So they stood there, number 1, I don't know for how many weeks, and they brought something different into the game. It's like podcast, but stand-up comedy, but they're not standing up. They're sitting down, but they do stand up. Let me not lie. Okay, that was number 8. Yes, we said Preacher Lawson, we said Ryan Davis, say 85 South. Now we go to number 7, right? And number 7, Let me think about this for a moment. Number seven. I think I'm gonna miss. We'll go to -1 if possible. So number 7, we have now Gary Owen. Gary Owen is so good, right? He's super dope. But you know what? With the list that I have, I feel like the guys that are before him are just good. And one thing I haven't told you about, my journey with stand-up comedy is, I'll tell you as we go. It's fine. I'll tell you as we go. But I love some of Gary Owen's, stand-up comedy videos. But for me, I feel like sometimes if I am not that into you, I'll definitely not, memorize your stuff. But with him, yes, I think that's where I am. I think this is where I get hate comments because you know what? I'm not prepared in the video, and I'm talking trash about people as if like I'm a comedian myself. But that was, that was Gary Owen. Okay. After Gary Owen, we have my homeboy, Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is number 6, right? Not because he's good compared to Gary Owen. You know what? That's a mistake that I'm not gonna edit. So Trevor Noah is at number 6. A friend of mine, when I was grade 12, when I was doing like my final year in high school, he talked about Trevor Noah, and I didn't, because I didn't have a laptop at the time. But then when I got into university, I saw videos. So I think the first special in comedy, not in comedy, but I think it was the second special, because I had seen some of the local guys, that were doing stand-up comedy, and I didn't understand it at the time. But with Trevor Noah, I think now that's why I'm saying it was the first time watching stand-up comedy. So I think it was the Daywalker where he's wearing a black suit. That was a good special. I fell in love with comedy, with stand-up comedy. Thank you, Trevor Noah, even though you didn't, comment on the song that I did about you, but you can never watch this. So yeah, man, Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is like one thing I've noted with comedy, and I'm glad that I'm doing this, this haphazard thing that I'm doing on my channel, because I feel like comedians, they are our journalists. Comedians, they are our therapists, not in that like deep therapy. But if you want accuracy, you need to watch or listen to stand-up comedy. So I think number 5, right? Number 5. Oh, I didn't make my point. So with the I'd say their philosophy, you get to see a different view of the world, because Trevor Noah, the way he's explaining his jokes, the way he's crafting them, so very insightful. And not to mention, he was on the Daily Show. Which South African has ever done that? I mean, which let me not incite violence, but excuse me, it is what it is. That was number 6. Number 5, I should have mentioned him before Trevor Noah, but I think he's good. Matt Riffe is still at the start of his comedy journey, and for I think we're at the same age. Imagine if I'm not older than him, and I only get 15 views from my videos. But Matt Riffe is so good. I like his crowd work. I like his flirtiness with the crowd. And I think many people, they said he couldn't, be a stand-up comedian. He couldn't have a 1-hour special because, because he does a lot of crowd work. But he proved people wrong. And I believe the last special I watched from him was OnlyFans, if that's the name of the special. So with that being said, man, Matt Riffe is so dope. I think people, and even Max Tuning, right? Max Tuning, who is a YouTuber that I follow here on YouTube, once went to his special, and I think they enjoyed It was him and Taylor. So I think they enjoyed the show. Yeah, man. So Matt Riffe is at number 5. Number 4, we have Fluffy, Gabriel, Iglesias. I should have, with the rating, but I think the way I'm rating is how I feel as I go, like what I gain from these comedians. So Fluffy, those types of comedians that you just meet along the way. Because I was introduced, as I said, Trevor Noah introduced me to stand-up comedy. After that, Trevor Noah introduced me to Fluffy. There's something burning. I'm cooking. Please hold on. Okay, nothing is burning, but I'm a terrible cook. Terrible cook. So yes, I was introduced to Fluffy by Trevor Noah. So, and I was so amazed because in my life I had never seen such a stand-up comedian who can do sound effects. Pikachu! And with Fluffy, there are 2 specials that I've watched where he is, my eyes are so big, but yeah, where he is at, is it Rogers Stadium or something like that? So, Fluffy, ne? So when he did like his first special, I think it was after COVID or before COVID, I don't remember, but that was my first time seeing the audience reciting the joke as the comedian is saying it. Marty! Orale! Hey, look! It's the Fast and the Furious! I mean, Fluffy is, I think, when we talk about comedy, because as I was trying to explain, because I think, my mind is all over the place, but with comedy, right, it's, you get different personalities, right? As you get these different personalities within this comedy space, you try and pick up few things. I think Fluffy's comedy is so light in that you don't even hear like him cursing, it's just comedy. It's just, you just go there and laugh. Unlike like some comedians whom like I love, but people find them controversial. So that was number 3 or number 4? Ah, damn. Please keep the, but I think it was number 4. So number 3, now in number 3 we have Katt in the Head, Katt Williams, right? Katt Williams. Okay, the reason I'm placing Katt Williams at number 3, it's because yes, he did, I think his first special was Priceless Afterlife, or That I Saw. So yeah, it was so good, with the tiger, wasn't it? Was it a tiger or a lion? With the white lion or tiger, that was like roaming up and about. I liked that special, and you know what? I related to some of the stuff, but in as much as I love Katt, I think this is where I'm gonna catch like crossfires and whatnot. I think Katt Williams and Kevin Hart are the same person. Please hear me out. I saw the special where, you see, when they were still beefing, I was like, Katt Williams even laughed at Kevin Hart's joke because it was so Katt Williams. What Kevin Hart was saying in that joke, he was saying, I think he went to train somewhere, and then they were coming out of the club, and then they saw this guy, and the guy was knocked out. His friend, Kevin Hart's friend, was knocked out, and Kevin Hart said, "You know what? I don't want to get to sleep. I'm not tired." I know I butchered his joke, but yeah, man. So I saw Katt Williams because some of the jokes that Katt Williams say could be similar to like what Kevin Hart's material is, which is why even Hollywood, I think, made them go one against one another. It's a pity that I cannot think of a Katt Williams joke right now, which is kind of sad, you know. But then at number 2, right? Number 2, we have Kevin Hart. Grown Little Man, that was my first comedy special I'd seen from Kevin Hart. It was so fun, but my favorite from Kevin Hart is What Now? I've been trapping all day. I've been trapping all day. So I love because there's that fire thing. And I think with the joke, really, you know, yeah, I liked that special, which is kind of crazy that I'm, whatever, man. Kevin Hart is number 2. Number 1 that I've seen, Bill Burr. Bill Burr, man. Bill is so dope. He's that comedian, you know, that I can never get tired of because, you know, the stuff that he says, and especially as, you know, we are living in this world that we're living in, it's kind of crazy, man, that we're living in such scenarios. So he makes fun of the daily things that we see that are wrong and the stuff that he faces, you know. And because I grew up in a kind of similar way as he grew up, I mean, I might not be as extreme, but, you know, we can never compare suffering. But you know what? A joke that I love from him is when he's saying with the Botox thing that you haven't figured out that these people haven't fixed all the bugs out, and then you're putting this shit all over in your face, blah blah blah. Do you wanna be a 50-year-old that looks 50, or do you wanna be a 50-year-old that looks like a 20-year-old lizard? I like that joke. That was number 1. Minus one, we have Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, here's a funny story. Dave Chappelle, I kind of quarreled with him because I was the guy who went from Trevor Noah then to Fluffy, and then I was like, what's going on with Dave? What's going on? And most people might not get Dave Chappelle. So because to me, he didn't seem like a comedian. He seemed like, you know, that guy who just happens to be funny. And that's how I still view him to this day. But then with the, you know, the inquisitive person in me, I try and, you know, figure out and understand the craft. So Dave Chappelle is so good in the craft of comedy because, you know, I remember his first special because, yes, I think the one that I watched was the one from 2017. And I don't remember, I think because he had 2 specials from 2017, but I think it's when he returned from his exile. Not exile, but, you know, from his big break. So, like, this guy is so funny and, you know, he's insightful, which is where now I can say Trevor Noah and Dave Chappelle meet because they've got philosophies within their comedy, which I love. You know, I'm stalling. I forgot the first. Let me just look it up. Dave Chappelle's first comedy special. First special. 30-minute, half hour. Killing Them Softly. Yes, how can I forget Killing Them Softly? When I went back to Killing Them Softly, I was like, okay, this is the comedic side of Dave Chappelle because he talked about going to the hood, meeting a baby that was selling crack, you know. it was so interesting. And the guy that stole, I think, chocolate from his car. No, baby, this is doo-doo. So, like, that was so good, man. Dave Chappelle taught me one thing. You can take suffering and turn it into pure comedy. It's like how Blackish does it, right? So, yeah, man, Dave Chappelle, so good. I can talk about Dave Chappelle, how great Dave Chappelle is. It's just that, you know, let me just That was 2000, right? So let me just see some of the specials that I can talk about, so you understand why Dave Chappelle is at -1, right? So come on. I don't wanna. Yeah, what is this? Are these movies? Comedy specials? Where are these comedy specials? Stand-up specials, Killing Them Softly. For what it's worth, I've never seen that one. The Age of Spin, that's when now I was introduced to Dave Chappelle, because you young men are living in the age of spin, where he was talking about like the things that happened like during was it 39? Not 39. Or when he was going to school and the astronauts got bent. I think that's the one. Then after that, Deep in the Heart of Texas, that's where Morgan Freeman does the voiceover, the intro. Equanimity, I think I've watched that one. Sticks and Stones. Sticks and Stones was another good one, Yeah, man, it's a lot. So, it's a lot. The Unstoppable Nigga Act. That's the last one, right? Excuse me. So I think I have to revisit, a video where I will be talking about the great specials I've watched from comedians, from my favorite comedians. Okay. Excuse me. -2. -2. Now we have Benny Mac. I just wanna cry, man. Because Benny Mac was so good, to such an extent that if he was alive to this day, that guy would be owning everything. Because starting from, with them, it was Benny Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, it was Steve Harvey, and then it was D.L. Hughley. I forgot the name of the special that they were in. You saw how good he was with the jokes, But then, because with the comedy thing, I feel like it was at a time when, it was a time where social media wasn't there. So you could repeat your jokes just like Fluffy is doing. But Fluffy is doing it in a way that, you are part. You noticed his journey as how he grew up. So I feel like, even though Benny Mac is good, with the joke repetition, I think that's where now the limitation is. But with the kids, where are you going? You guys are making cookies. And he talks about there are no more big mamas. You can no longer beat your kids because of the time we're living in. There was this other clip that I saw. Excuse me. Benny Mac talking about he's scared of his wife, right? Because he once went out and he called on the phone. Don't ask me a motherfucking damn question where I am. When I come back, there'd rather be good food, cooked food, that's them, whatever. Then put your mama on the phone. And I was like, what? Yeah, that was a twist, which is what I also love about comedians in comedy. I'm butchering now the English language, not words. Yeah, so that was -2. -3, which is the last scale we'll be rating. -3, man, that's my -3. Patrice O'Neal. Let's just let that sink in for a second. Patrice O'Neal is... Patrice O'Neal is so good. Yes, he did repeat some jokes, just like Benny Mac did. But the way he would craft his jokes, and as someone who's like loving comedy, I hear some of the people like Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, who used to hang out with Patrice O'Neal before he passed away. So my things are paining here. Okay, let's turn that off. I mean, that's disrespectful. I'm talking about the greatest to ever do it in the comedy space, and you know, I'm not gonna even edit this. So, Patrice O'Neal was so good, man. You know, for me, for a comedian to grab my attention, I just need to meet that person one time, not meet him, I mean like meet him through his specials or something. Once I see that one thing and you killed that, I'm forever your fan, because I saw Elephant in the Room. That was his special, because like the other ones, I don't think they are available to the public. But Patrice O'Neal, you know, when we are talking about dudes, you know, men who are not intimidated regardless of the times. And I feel like he would be talking crazy even to this day. So, man, Patrice O'Neal was so good. When, you know, first impressions matter, man. They do matter a lot, because Patrice O'Neal, what he did with that special, he came straight to the stage. He was like, he saw a girl, you know, he was doing the crowd work thing. Yes, it might not have been popular at the time, or maybe, I don't know, it might have been popular, because, you know, I'm just, you know, unpacking comedy as I go. So when he saw that lady, he was like, I want to thank the audience coordinator for putting those pair of titties right here. People started laughing. Congratulations, man. Congratulations to you, my man. Look at that white woman you're with. Top tier, top of the shelf. Come on, speak the truth. That's when I was like caught. I was like, he lived life, you know, because for you to talk the way that you were talking and with the material that he unpacked, and I was like, okay, this guy has some experience. Not some experience, has experience. He's lived life, you know, as a clueless kid. He tried figuring things out in his life, and then he finally made a cement, and he said, you know what, let's just purify this thing that is called my life. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of this video. Please tell me in the comment section below, who is your favorite comedian? You know, with the scale that I introduced here, from 10 to -3, do you like that scaling? So if you liked this video, please hit the like, subscribe button. I will see you next time. In the meantime, please click on this other video. That one is suggested to you by the algorithm. I hope to see you next time. Keep being awesome.